My name is Christopher J. Clark. I am the mayor of the city of Harvey, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming out today. On March 29, 2024, the Chicago City Wire published a report stating that 465 commercial properties in Harvey were delinquent on their 2021 property taxes, totaling approximately $12,217,517. My office began working to collect those taxes because we knew then and we know now that when people do not pay their fair share, someone else ends up holding the bag. Unfortunately, many of the people who were involved, including some of the aldermen, protested us collecting those taxes and worked to protect those businesses from paying the taxes that they owe. Recently, Cook County mailed out the 2023 tax bills, and according to Cook County Treasurer's Office, this is the biggest increase in homeowners' tax bills in 15 South suburbs where taxes soared 30% or more, and of those 15 suburbs, 13 have mostly Black populations. The 19 highest tax rates in Cook County are still in Chicago's South suburbs, where the population is primarily lower income Black residents, demonstrating once again the stark inequities in the Illinois property tax system. But Harvey is a diverse city with Black, Hispanic, white, Middle Eastern, and Asian residents. And in our opinion, the tax increase knows no race. It breaks the back of everyone that it touches. Now it has become the difference between possibly losing your home or paying a utility bill. It has become the difference between paying for a prescription drug or setting the money aside for taxes. According to the Cook County Treasurer, the tax increases are the result of two forces. One, reassessments that have shifted 4% of the tax burden from businesses to homeowners, and significant increases in tax levies passed by many school districts, municipalities, and other local governments. But I want to take a look at the first point, because that's really important. In the city of Harvey, the assessed value of the properties as residential here in the city went up approximately 45%. That made a significant difference on the tax burden to the people here in the city of Harvey. And for many years, the city of Harvey has attempted to maintain a flat tax. Because of previous financial mismanagement, there are now several financial matters that are beyond our control. For example, because the previous administration mismanaged our bonds, the city must impose a tax to cover its court settlement with the bondholders. Because the previous administration did not contribute its proper share to the police and fire pensions, the city must impose a tax to cover its court settlement with the police and fire pensions. While the previously mentioned issues are essentially out of our control, other taxes are within our control. And those taxes are where we begin in our commitment to Harvey residents. As a part of that commitment, I'm pleased to announce that with the exception of any court orders or court settlements, the city of Harvey will not raise its property taxes for the 2025 fiscal year and going forward. While we are leading with this public commitment, we encourage all taxing bodies and elected officials to pledge and do the same. For that reason, we have started a website called holdthetax.com. On this site, elected officials can download and scan the Hold the Tax pledge. Elected officials will pledge to hold the tax by 1, opposing any and all efforts to increase property taxes beyond 0% unless said increase is ordered by the court of competent jurisdiction and or for debt service during the 2025 fiscal year. And 2, to support all efforts to reduce and reverse the negative impact of property taxes on a state, county, and local level. When elected officials commit to hold the tax by taking the pledge, they can scan the pledge back to us, and once confirmed, their names will appear on the website, and the taxpayers are encouraged to visit that site to find their elected official. If their elected official does not appear on the website, then they are encouraged to ask their elected official to join and take the pledge. Simply put, elected officials will have to choose whether they really want to put their money where their mouth is. It, however, does not end here. With the support of taxpayers and local elected officials, we hope to start a conversation with our state, county, and local officials to discuss ways to relieve the back-breaking strain these property taxes place on our residents. However, it begins with us on a local level. By committing to hold the tax, we show everyone that we are serious about this matter. We look forward to all elected officials joining us and taking that pledge. Thank you. Any questions?
Mayor, I'm wondering, when it comes to property taxes, obviously the assessments play a big role in that. Are you committed to reducing the tax rate then for what you're able to control yourself to balance out any future assessment increases?
That is a wonderful question. And yes, first of all, we are committed to every possible angle that can go about reducing the taxes. We ourselves do not necessarily have control over the tax rate. I think Harvey, we used to be the 3rd highest in Cook County. I think we're now the 5th highest in Cook County as far as tax rates are concerned, but it's still 22%. And so what we want to do is we want to work with our state, our county, and of course local officials to figure out ways to get that down. That means conversations with our assessor, conversations with our treasurer, and of course conversations with our clerk.
How do you plan to pay for city services if you're trying to balance not raising those property taxes and still maintaining city services?
Well, this is one of the things that I think makes it so great, because the city of Harvey is a place where everyone knows we need money. But at the same time, we're willing to make the sacrifice and basically enact those austerity measures, which we think we can do safely and responsibly, to still serve our residents. At the same time, remember, this breaks their back. Residents come first. Government doesn't come first. So if there needs to be a sacrifice, government needs to make that sacrifice on behalf of these people.
Do you foresee any layoffs might be needed or any other kind of cutbacks because of this austerity?
What we see is we will be able to continue to operate as normal. But what we won't do to the people, let's just say John and Jane Doe, they right now have an exorbitant bill that they're trying to figure out how they're going to deal with it. Well, next year, if we raise taxes again, they're going to have that bill plus some. And they can't forecast. They don't even know how they're going to save a little bit here and a little bit there, because they don't know what the bill is going to be. If we get everyone to hold the tax at 0%, that resident will know what his or her bill is going to be in the upcoming year, and they'll be able to plan for it. 100 times more. Some of them are getting $4,000, $6,000 increases. They're going to receive that bill this week, and they are required to pay that bill the first week of August. So in less than 30 days, they're supposed to come up with almost maybe 2 to 3 times the amount that they receive every single month. That's absolutely ridiculous. And in my opinion, yes, the state, the county, all the local officials at least need to do something to work to push that back, push the deadline back, eliminate the interest and penalties and fees and all the things that they tack on when you don't pay on time, because you're destroying poor and working poor people. And specifically, you're destroying 13 or 15 black communities here in the Southland. And that's a problem.
Speaking of pay on time, how successful has Harvey been in getting those commercial property owners who are delinquent to pay up?
But we've had some that have come to the city and decided to work with us and working together. I'd say the vast majority of them are not. They are honestly encouraged by other forces not to work with the city. But in due time, we will continue to apply pressure on them. And we will apply legal pressure on them to get them to comply.
And also, what kind of contact have you had or you heard from some of your fellow municipal leaders in this area about their willingness to hold on?
Well, that's what happens when you lead. When you lead, you're the first one out here. So you're hearing it for the first time. I'm pretty sure some of them are hearing it for the first time as well, if they didn't get a little teaser on the news this morning. At the end of the day, I will be, once again, I've said it again and again, relationships are everything. They're very important. So I will be reaching out to many of the mayors, many of the other elected officials to try to get them on board and get them to understand the benefit of holding the tax.
How much are you able to control of that entire composite tax rate? How much are you able to control outside of the settlements that you talked about? Which part of that tax rate can you control to calculate the numbers?
I don't know the exact amount. City of Harvey's, first of all, of the taxes that are collected, we bill somewhere between 32 to 38%. I think that's what it is. And so of that, we can control our corporate levy, we can control our police and fire levy, not the pensions, but the police and fire levy. We believe that at the end of the day, we will be able to continue working with those three. And I want to make it clear, because I don't want to hear about anybody pulling the George Bush on me, talking about he said no new taxes, and all of a sudden that's what happens. No, we are saying we are not going to raise taxes above 0%, with the exception of those things that we have a legal and court responsibility to do so. Okay? And that's where we are. But we control what we can control. We control somewhere between 32 to 38% of that bill. What we're doing is we're asking the other 60% or 62% to go ahead and control their part as well.
School district, county.
School district, county, everybody. School district, county, park district, library, township, mosquito abatement. I think they're like 0.000, something like that. But the bottom line is, if you tax us in our taxing district, we're asking you to do something. But we're not just asking everyone in our taxing district. There are other municipalities within the Southland that need to do the same thing. South Holland, Dalton, Posen, Dixmoor, all of those other municipalities, Country Club Hills, Homewood, they're seeing the crunch just like we are. They're just not seeing it as much. But they need to also join with us so we can show all of our leaders from the state and county level that we're united, that we believe in what we're doing, that we're willing to put our money where our mouths are, and we want them to do the same. Anyone else? Going once?
Sorry, in the press release you mentioned 400.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I apologize.
Hi, nice to meet you.
In the press release you mentioned 465 commercial properties are not paying their taxes. How would you go about this? Are you going to apply payment plans, or how would you go about recuperating this amount?
Oh, that's interesting. So we actually do have a payment plan in place for every last one of those 465 properties to take advantage of. We presented it to some of those businesses, and they got on the news media and said we were extorting them. And we were actually trying to create a way for them to be able to stay in business while at the same time still getting their tax bill in order, their delinquent tax bill in order. So we've tried that, and we will continue to try. But yes, the settlement agreement is available for any businesses seeing this and works in the city of Harvey, and we would be more than happy to welcome them and continue to work.
One more thing. There has been, I was reading some of the notes on the minutes for the City Hall meetings. There's been an issue with the Treasury report. Has that been finalized?
What do you mean when you say there's been issues?
Well, Treasurer previously explained there hasn't been one published, or it hasn't been finalized.
Okay. So the city of Harvey, first of all, has a treasurer, and we also have a comptroller. Our comptroller is our chief financial officer of the city, not the treasurer. So where some want to mix because they want to see things particularly the way that they want to see them, our comptroller is our chief financial officer. Our treasurer is responsible for signing certain reports and doing those based on what the state statute is. But we don't have a treasurer that does those things. Our comptroller does them. Okay, and our comptroller has a CPA, which is one of the reasons why we rely on what he's saying versus relying on what an elected official said. And this is not a slight toward that treasurer. This is just a slight toward. This is an elected official that you don't know if they have qualifications to actually even give you those financial reports. So you want to make sure that you're being responsible financially to have someone in that is actually certified and regulated by the state so that they can be responsible for the reports that are getting. Okay? Anyway. Yes. I was waiting for you. It took you so long. Well, let's first of all, is that the end of your question? Okay. So first of all, let's look at it this way. One, for $20,000, you can pay $20,000 at one time, okay, for the entire year. You can pay $12,000 every 6 months, and that'll cover the year. Or you can pay, which is $24,000. Or you can pay $2,500 a month, every month, to the tune of $30,000. Now, where some may say, well, you know what, I can't pay $2,500. Here is my issue with that. From my conversations with many of the businesses prior to instituting this settlement agreement, many of them were paying the landlord that refused to pay the taxes on the property that they were in somewhere between $4,000 or $5,000 a month. So if they were paying the landlord $4,000 or $5,000 a month and the landlord wasn't paying the taxes, why can't they pay the city of Harvey $2,500? And when does it become the city of Harvey's responsibility to subsidize their business? When I started off this statement, I said someone ends up holding the bag. If they don't pay their fair share, then the citizens of Harvey end up paying it for them. And I can guarantee you right now, I can't find, I'm going to find two that just probably like, yeah, I hate Clark. But other than that, I can't find a resident in the city of Harvey who's saying they would rather pay a business's taxes so that they can stay open, make money, and continue to do the things that they do. I doubt it very seriously. if they can't make $2,500 a month for their business, I don't know, maybe they need to go back to school. Maybe they need to start thinking about another career choice. I don't know. My responsibility is not to them. My responsibility is to the residents of the city of Harvey. Maybe they need to move into the city of Harvey so they can become a resident, and then our responsibility to be for them. I don't know what else to say about that situation. I wish them well. I don't wish them any ill will. But if I have to make a choice between them and the residents who I've committed myself to, and I'm a resident myself, the choice is easy.
Last question.
Sorry, a lot of business owners don't live here.
The vast majority of them don't live here. I'd probably say at least 98% of them do not live in the city of Harvey. A few of them do, but we can go down the list, and they don't live here in the city of Harvey. So, and it's funny that you mentioned that, and some of this stuff will probably never make air, but just so you understand, when I grew up in the city of Harvey, I've been here for 55 years. When I grew up in the city of Harvey, it was a place where the business owners lived in the city in which they worked and had their business. It was a place where the teachers who taught in the city lived in the city as well as taught the schools locally. I could go down to the grocery store and see my teacher, and of course, she or he, depending on who it was, would make sure that I didn't get in trouble at the local grocery store. It was a community. And so they had an interest in making sure the taxes were paid. They had an interest in making sure that the city was kept up because that same city took care of them. That's not the situation now. It seems that people just come into the city of Harvey where they think they can do anything that they want to do. They don't have to pay taxes. They can use our services. They can go ahead, and some of them are even disrespectful to our residents. But they can do those things in our city, treat us like we're substandard, third-class citizens, and then expect to not pay any taxes too, and expect for us to pay that tax for them. Shame on them. There's no place that they can go. I can't go to their community and do the exact same thing. I'll be run out on the rail. So, there you go.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.